It's Ashley. I know. It's exciting. You got a whole fan club right over there, Ashley.
Ashley and Azan?
But maybe even a little more exciting than Ashley is, of course, the animal that's with her. And this is Azan. Does anyone out there know what kind of animal Azan is? I want you to shout out what you think.
Handsome.
Whoa, I heard handsome. I heard anteater. Aardvark. All right, let's do it like this. Okay, raise your hand if you think anteater. All right, raise your hand if you think aardvark. All right, raise your hand if you have no idea. That's concerning. Just kidding. For those of you who guessed aardvark, you are correct. Great job, you guys. For those who guessed anteater, don't worry. That's actually one of our most common guesses when we bring out one of our aardvarks here. And that's because they do look pretty similar. In fact, there's a really fancy term out there. It's called convergent evolution. Basically, all that means is that there are animals found in completely different parts of the world that have no relationship to one another whatsoever, but they fill the same niche in the areas that they live, and they have very similar features or adaptations. So while anteaters are going to be found out in Central and South America, aardvarks are going to be found out in Africa, and more specifically, the sub-Saharan region of Africa. Now, typically, aardvarks are a nocturnal animal. So pop quiz, if they're nocturnal, when are they most active? At night. Yeah, we got a smart crowd today, I love it. Yes, they're usually going to be most active during the nighttime, and during the daytime, they're actually going to be hanging out in burrows that they've dug themselves. So let's think. What are some of the benefits of being underground, in the middle of the day, out in Africa? Any guesses? I think I heard, what do you think?
It cools you down.
Cools you down, right? Yeah, you guys are all hanging out in the shade right here. You got the right idea. It can get very hot out in Africa. So by being underground, they're staying nice and cool. They're protected from the sun. What else might they be protected from? Predators, exactly. You've got your lions, your cheetahs, hyenas, wild dogs. Even young aardvarks have to be careful of pythons, believe it or not. All right, okay, so the sun sets. The aardvarks, they pop their heads out of their burrows. They take a really good sniff around. I don't know if you've noticed while Azan's out here, that nose is constantly moving. They have an incredible sense of smell. You might also notice those large rabbit-like ears. So they do have really good hearing as well. I will say though, their eyesight, not so great. Imagine if you took a pair of goggles, smeared Vaseline on them, put those on, and then dimmed the lights and tried to move around in a space. That'd be a little difficult, right? Yeah, so they're not relying a lot on their sight, mostly their hearing and their smell. And Azan is really trusting that Ashley is going to take him to the right spots here on stage. All right, so they pop their heads out of the burrows. They sniff around for any of those predators we just talked about. And then the first thing they do when they wake up, what do you think it is?
Pee.
Right? Yeah, it's time for breakfast. Now, their breakfast might look a little bit different than ours. How many of you out there are eating a bowl of bugs for breakfast? Oh, yeah, there we go. I see a hand. Great source of protein, you guys. Good job.
Eat bugs.
All right, just kidding. But these guys, they are insectivores. And that name gives it away. They eat insects. And specifically out in Africa, they're going to be looking for these termite mounds. So we have our faux termite mound here, our fake termite mound. And what an aardvark is typically going to do is they're going to come up to one of these, they're going to sniff around for those delicious bugs inside, and then using those really impressive nails, they're going to break into these almost concrete-like structures. So the termite mounds are tough, but the aardvark is tougher. Now we are going to skip the part where he breaks our prop, so we've pre-drilled the holes, but he's going to show you what special tool they use to get those bugs out of there once they find them. You guys have a good view over there. What's he using to get those bugs? His tongue, right? And for those of you who maybe don't have as good of a view, don't worry. Just like everybody out there, we always carry our portable termite mounds, right? Next time, I'm sure. All right, well, we have this tube here that's about the standard length of a ruler, about 12 inches long. And you guys, this is the best part of the presentation. You ready for this? All right, here we go. We got some delicious bugs in here for him. There we go. Take a look at that. Pretty impressive, right? That tongue is about 11 inches long. We're going to get all those bugs out of there. We'll do it one more time right over here. But as I reload this tube, I need you guys
it's
to
like a
take
big
look
puppy.
at something. Notice how those bugs are now stuck to the side of that tube there. That is because aardvarks have an incredibly sticky saliva. They're eating about 50,000 bugs every single day. Imagine picking up 50,000 bugs one at a time. Not super convenient. He knows what's coming next. Not super convenient, but with that super sticky saliva, all he has to do is just tap his tongue to those bugs, just like that. And then he just slurps them right up. Delicious. Now, I'm lucky. Yes, thank you. Azan does deserve some applause for that. Now, I'm lucky because I got to use this tube here. I don't know if you've noticed, but Ashley has been hand feeding. If you want a high five or a handshake, she's always happy to give those out. All right, we're gonna give Azan the opportunity to forage a little bit more on this much smaller termite mound. And as Azan is eating, I want you guys to pay attention to a couple of things. You might see his ears, they're moving around, they're turning around backwards, listening behind him. And his eyes, he's also closing his eyes while he eats. So let's start with those ears. Does anyone know why he might be turning his ears backwards while they eat? Any guesses? What do you think?
Watch out for predators?
Exactly, yeah, he's gonna be listening behind him to make sure nothing's gonna sneak up and make a meal out of him, right? Listen for any predators sneaking up behind him. Now, why do you think he might close his eyes when he eats? I'm gonna tell you, it's not because the food is so delicious. It is pretty delicious. Any guesses on that one? All right, you again. No pressure.
So he can concentrate?
So he can concentrate. Ooh, that's a great guess, right? You want to make sure you're really getting those bugs in there. Any other guesses? It's okay, I'm gonna tell you anyways. You guys, believe it or not, termites don't like to be eaten. They're gonna fight back. So by closing his eyes, he's keeping those eyeballs protected from bugs getting in them. They're also able to close off those nostrils so no bugs go up their nose. Pretty convenient. Now, I did kind of mention earlier, these guys do live in burrows that they dig themselves. And these burrows are very impressive. They can be about 6 feet deep and 40 feet wide. To put that into perspective, it's about the size of a school bus. And they don't just dig one burrow in their life, they're gonna be digging multiple burrows, maybe to get away from predators, find a new food source. And as they leave those old burrows behind, other animals will actually come in and take over those abandoned aardvark burrows. So they're kind of building homes for other animals out in Africa. And because of that, we think they have earned the title. Are you guys ready for this one? You guys ready? The Aardvarkitects. I know, it's bad. Just kidding. In all seriousness, we do kind of consider them conservationists though. And that's what we're all about here at the San Diego Zoo is conservation. We work with researchers around the world in different hubs to help out animals in those areas. Out in the Savannah hub, where you'll find aardvarks, their numbers are actually doing pretty okay. But other animals like rhinos, giraffes, they need our help. And whether you knew it or not, by being here today, you're actually supporting those conservation efforts. So we want to give a huge thank you to you guys for being here today. Give yourselves a round of applause. Great job. But wait. I think in order to say a proper thank you, Ashley, what do you think? Yeah, I think I need the help of a volunteer. Is there anyone feeling brave out there? Anyone? All right, you've been answering so many of my questions. I'm gonna have you come right over here. And if you have paparazzi with you that wanna come up and take photos, you can come stand right over here. Perfect. Woo. Don't worry, it's fake. And you come right over here. All right, what's your name? Holden, nice to meet you, Holden. Do you have any idea what you just volunteered to do? You said to pet him? Say thank you? Okay, yeah. What if I told you guys, this is my favorite part. What if I told you you're about to have a bug eating contest with Azan? You don't look as excited. You'll eat one bug? You'll try? Okay, well, don't worry because we got lots of bugs. Don't worry, this doesn't have any aardvark saliva in it yet. And you see we're feeding mealworms, not termites. You don't have to eat termites today, that's good. But I think we need more in there. Do you think that's enough? You're right, we need more. More? More? One more. One more? One more handful. Oh, they're alive. Yeah, they're wiggling around in there. You see that? You ready? Yeah? I'm just kidding. I won't make you eat any. What if I told you instead you're going to come up and eat Azan? Is that better? Much better, right? All right, so you're going to take this tube. You're going to hold it in that other hand for me. That hand, hold on nice and tight. Then you're going to come in. We'll give Azan a second. He's ready. He knows what's about to happen. You're going to come in and you're going to put your feet against this curve at the bottom right here, okay? So don't step up. Just stay at the bottom here. And then you're gonna hold that tube out just right here. Azan's gonna come over, put his feet here, and start eating those bugs. And as he does that, you can touch him on his back, okay? All right, here he comes at full aardvark speed. Yeah, that's about full speed. There we go, touch him right on his back. Smile at the camera. Stick your tongue out. Here, let's get you some more bugs in there. I got a few more for you. There we go. This is Azan's favorite part, I think. Got it? Yeah. There we go. Perfect. There we go. Beautiful. I'll go ahead and grab that tube from you. I don't think you want any of that slobber. Now, before you walk away, I do have to ask, how did Azan feel? How did he feel? Happy! Guys, that's my favorite answer. What does he feel like? Does he feel soft? Is he rough? He's rough, right? We've had people compare him to kind of feeling like a kiwi fruit or a coconut, but happy is my favorite answer, I will say. All right, well, thank you so much for coming up here. You gonna give me a high five? Heck yes, and then I have this for you. Do you want a slobbery aardvark slobber high five?
I love it.
For our volunteer, you guys. You're a good sport, I appreciate it. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, at this point of the presentation, Azan might decide to hang out a little bit longer, or he might decide it's time to go home and go to bed. But if anyone has any questions about aardvarks at this time, I already see a hand up. I'd be happy to answer
After Rock's
those.
presentation at
What's your
noon.
question? What was that? How long do they live for? I love that question. Hi, Azan. So out in the wild, it's really, really hard to study aardvarks because they are a prey species that live underground and are only awake at night. So researchers will go their whole lives out in Africa and never see an aardvark. Because of that, we actually don't really know how long they live out in the wild. We know in managed care that they can live to be into their late 20s or so. Azan here is like 16,
San Diego Zoo,
17 now,
base
so
camp,
he's still young.
After Rock's
but
presentation.
We know that we can also usually double their lifespan. So
Bye, guys.
Kind of guess